Ask and you shall receive. So I will show the Seer spring shim is pre-installed in my marker, my M17, but it's pretty much the same thing. We're just in reverse. Pretty straightforward. So metric Allen keys and a Phillips screwdriver. So we'll lighten this up a little here. Oh. Don't want to lose my balls. Alright, so, and in the M17 you got to take out the magwell screws, Allen heads, 1, 2, and the trigger group screw to actually get the trigger group off. In the Cqmf, you don't have to touch any of this. There's 1, 2, and it comes apart. So, let's see, 3mm, and you also need another one, a duplicate, because they're opposites here. Move those, set them aside. Second set. So they come apart. They're actually 3 pieces, so there's 2 screws like this. So it may come apart vice versa. It doesn't matter how they go back together. Next one is your trigger group screw here, or some of you may see, actually, some of you may see a sling ring here, which is normal. I'm just running an aftermarket screw because I had an aftermarket stock on here, and the sling ring got in the way. Also, I am running a Valken now, since I believe they're remaking this SMG PMC magwell, which works with the Tippmann, well, not plug and play, you have to drill a small hole there to make them interlock with these, but these are money. Feeding problems, gone. Okay, here take out this last one here. Again, they have the same type of barrel nuts. The ones that go through the magwell are much longer than the one that goes through the trigger group. I like to keep them a little bit separate, but I've done this so many times now it doesn't matter. So once the magwell screws are out and that last one in the end is out, whole trigger group comes off. One piece, just like that. So we will set this section aside because we don't need to deal with that. Now you need to get out this Allen head that holds your grip on. I don't know if you can see, it's way down there. So you do need a longer Allen wrench, which I do have. The factory set that comes with it does not include a Allen wrench long enough. They have the right size, but not the correct length. So you undo this, and this is where you got to be careful, guys. There is a tiny little spring in a ball located inside here, which makes that clicking noise that you hear when you're actually doing your select. So when you take this apart, see if I can do it here in the camera. So my screw's loose now. You're gonna see this. Just kind of wiggle it slow. Oh, I'm on the wrong side here. So wiggle it slow. You see that little spring starting to come out? I'll flip her around here. So that's off. Oop. Don't forget the screws inside there. That one's a little tricky sometimes to get back together, but we'll set that aside. So your little spring comes out. Very small, but that's not it. This is the tiny ball that everybody loses. Don't lose it. Just be very careful. Put in a tray, a cup, whatever you got. Set it aside. The next thing to take apart is your selector switch, which is not the 3 mil. It is a 2.5. And you actually need the other no, you don't. So you need 2.5 inch Allen key to do this one. I like to just kind of hold it in place, so it's, I don't know, just personal preference. Undo it. Spin it out. Set it aside. This is 2 pieces, so it comes apart like that, and it fits together like that inside your trigger group. Set them aside. At this point, it's not going to fall apart. There's 1 screw remaining, and it's this Phillips screw. Now, this screw does not need to be tight. It's plastic in there. This is grabbing plastic, so you don't have to tighten it down. So, because I've previously done this, I know I don't even need to use the handle of this. I can just do it with my hands. And that's all that it needs to do. Oh, I should loosen it, not tighten it. Just like that. You see, it's just like a machine screw, sheet metal screw, wood screw, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Set it aside. And just, this is, you got to split the halves now. So I just kind of grab it, just pull up a little bit at a time on each side, so it doesn't go popping everywhere. Okay, so it's, I've cracked the case open. If you lift it up, and you did this fairly smoothly like me, what you're going to find is everything stays in place. It shouldn't go flying everywhere. If it did, it's probably because you pulled too hard, but no big deal as long as you didn't lose nothing. And here I'm going to point out, this is your this is your sear right here, and this is your sear spring. And if you look closely, I already have an Allen head, socket Allen head cap screw stuck in there, so I'll pry it out and I can just show you guys here. So normally what's located in this space right here is just this spring. This spring under high pressure is not enough to stop this sear from actually, you see how it slides forward like that? That is what's going to cause bump fire, ghost fire, whatever you want to call it. What happens is when the bolt loads against this, if that spring pressure isn't enough, it's just going to slip. Boom, bolt's going to fire. So, to help remediate this, this is a 440 by 1/4 inch socket head cap screw. This particular one is just alloy steel. There's probably an equivalent in metric, I don't know, a 3 mil by 5 mil. I don't know off the top of my head, you'd probably have to Google that, but in my case I use a 440 by 1/4 inch. And the way it works is you take your spring and it slides inside, and that bit that actually fits inside actually helps keep this in alignment. So try to put this back together while you can hopefully see. there's a little ball inside the sear there, so it's easier. I like to just keep it all together, fit the spring on that ball, and then kind of, you gotta compress it and get it in there, but being careful obviously not to launch it everywhere. I might make this look easy, it might look hard, we'll see. So once you got your cap screw in there, you just push it together, and just like that, she's back together, and you can see fits perfectly in this notch. It adds about, I'd say, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch maybe of spring tension, whatever that equates to. But what it does do is it makes it very difficult to push that sear forward. I mean, I can push it forward with my inhumane strength, but yeah, you get the idea. While I'm in here, I may as well show you guys. This was a mil-sig trigger. This is discontinued now. This is a metal trigger, and I managed to locate from my friend Kaizo at Less Lethal Defense. And also, an upgrade that came with this trigger was it came with a sear spring to use as a return spring. So the same spring that's in here is also in here. I have also done that to my Cqmf, which doesn't have this trigger, and it just feels better. So since I had an extra sear spring, I threw it in my my new Cqmf like that. Reassembling. Make sure everything's down. These 2 pins right here, make sure they're vertical. All you gotta do is try and, I kind of put it down and lean it in. It always seems to work. There's some kind of notches here where everything fits together, and as long as you're close. You know, I literally made that look easy, but that was it. Use that little sheet metal screw, whatever you want to call it, to snap this thing back. Once it's snapped back together, again, you don't need to use the handle on your screwdriver. I just do it by hand. I should actually be using the other larger Phillips bit anyways. That's it. Good. Okay. Next. Next, I actually like to put back in my my safety here. So this is a good time. I should have pointed out. There's a little cylinder in there with a nipple on it. That nipple should be pointing up when you reassemble, but you can figure this out pretty easy if for instance, like me, I just didn't show you guys. So put the 2 halves together. I can tell that's on safety. Oops. Fire, obviously auto. What you want it to be in is safety. So as long as you have these oriented right, and this is in, you can see the trigger's in safe mode, that's where you want to have this thing set when you're tightening it down. It's not 100% important, but it's nice to have to know where it's at. You're putting it back together. I like to just I like to twist against itself, so I usually wedge my fingers like that when I'm tightening, and just kind of give it a little snug up there. And again, once it's together, this isn't coming apart. You have a screw in there, you have your selector in here. Again, safety and auto. And it's, you see how it's really loose? That's because you haven't put your little ball and plunger in. So take your tiny little ball that you didn't lose, drop it back in this hole on the, I guess I'm gonna say the right hand side if you're facing the marker, or if you're aiming the marker, and take your spring, that tiny little spring, follow it up, stick it in there, Next is your hand grip. And because my screw got all garbled in there, I'm gonna have to, you're gonna watch me fumble on camera because I don't have skills, editing skills yet. Hopefully this doesn't take that long. Hey, look at that. So I got the screw through. Now, you just gotta kind of, see if I can show this. Just push them together, making sure you don't lose that spring in that ball. And once you get it seated down, take your long Allen key. Yeah, it can be a little troublesome sometimes, but it's going. I can feel it. It's a long screw. It's almost there. Oh boy. All the while I'm holding the trigger group down on this. Oh man. It's longer today than it normally is. Okay, gonna have to get in here with the other hand. Oh no, I can see what I did wrong already. Which I forgot to point out. And now I'm gonna have to take all this apart. Take out my spring, my ball. Again, don't lose this stuff. Rookie move, but it happens to the best of us. I'm just gonna go fast here, guys, because I don't know when my camera's gonna time out. Run low on space. This nut that most of you probably noticed laying right there is actually the grip screw nut that fell out here. Quick. Oh, something kicked. I didn't like that. Well, so see a pin stuck on the other side, so it's just a matter of sticking it back in here. You want all the pins on one side when you reassemble this. This makes it easier. And oh, so now when we get apart again, that's what I'm talking about, that little tit there. You want that pointing up. This nut is a grip screw nut, and it fits right in there. Might be tough to see because it's black. But what I did, my error, I put this all back together and that had fallen out, and that's why my grip wasn't tightening down. So hurry this along, go along here fast. Phillips screw. Once you put that Phillips screw in, there's pretty low chance that it's going to come apart. And you can kind of manhandle it a little more. Put my selector back in. Double check. Safety. Fire. Auto. All good. Okay, try this again. Line up the, let's try this thing. You can see the screw kind of sticking out of there. You just gotta kind of, oh yeah, don't forget my ball. Ball. Spring. You just kind of line the screw up while keeping your spring and ball intact. And once it goes together, it's together. Oh, take your 3mm Allen key. Ah, there we go. Much better. Again, this is just cast metal, plastic, poly. Doesn't need to be super tight. Once that's together, that is your complete trigger group. And I won't show you how to put it back on because I'm probably running out of space on my video there, but and you can see, there you go. All right, hope that helps you guys.